So on the bottom, you FOILed it out, right? Hunter, what'd you get on the bottom? You didn't get it yet? Okay. Harry, what'd you get on the bottom?
Don't have it yet.
Okay, let's do this together. Ready? 1 times 1. 1. 1 times cosine. Cosine. Inner. Cosine again. And last times last is minus cosine squared. Now, if you guys remember conjugates, imaginary numbers, we only did that because we knew the inner, outer cancel out. What do you get on the bottom? 1 minus cosine squared. Right? Is that okay? On top you have sine times 1 minus cosine squared, or just cosine, sorry. Okay? Bring this down. Okay? All right. What is 1 minus cosine squared? Sine squared. So the denominator, this is what we said. We want a monomial. Let's make it a monomial. It's just sine squared. Okay, so now we're cleaning it up a little bit. So you got a sine squared, and then you got a sine, and then a 1 minus cosine. Okay. What does the right side say? Tell me one more time. I can't see it.
Cosecant x minus cotangent x.
Okay. Minus or plus?
Minus.
Minus cotangent. Like that?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, what should I do?
Cosecant is the same as 1 over sine.
Cosecant. Oh, you're jumping to the other side?
Yeah.
Okay. So you want me to change that to 1 over sine, right? And that to what?
Cosine over sine.
Just cross out sine on top.
Yeah, I was thinking, I mean,
I
once you
realized
see
you
this
didn't do that yet.
multiplication going on, get rid of like a 2 over 2 or a 3 over 3.
Yeah.
Sine of x cancels with one of those signs. Well, just sine is left, right? So now what do you have? 1 minus cosine of x over what?
Sine
Sine
of x.
of x equals supposedly that. How is that true though? How does that equal that?
Or cosecant over cosine.
Multiply cosecant what?
Multiply 1 minus cosine of x over sine of x by cosecant over cosecant. Because cosecant is the opposite of sine. So just
Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay. He's doing this. I don't know if you guys see this.
No.
You're basically telling them that this is really just 1 over what? Cosecant? Yeah. So he says 1 minus cosine is divided by this is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. What's the reciprocal? Cosecant of x. So he goes like this. What's this? Cosecant of x. What's this?
Cotangent.
That ends up being what?
Cotangent.
Yeah, it ends up being cotangent because this times this is 1 over sine. That's what this is. Times this.
Oh, I did it.
Did you get it? Okay.
Not that way though.
And what is
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
guys, right here?
Cotangent.
That is just what? Cosine over sine. That's your cotangent, isn't it? Okay. So we did get it. Although I gotta tell you something. I mean, I know what you did, Alec, but I want everybody to see this because it's not quite. I think you guys could just break this fraction apart. You see how it says 1 minus cosine over sine?
1 over sine of x minus cosine of x over sine.
Yeah, if you just break this into two fractions, 1 over sine of x minus cosine over what? Over sine of x. You see what I'm doing? I'm breaking it apart into two fractions. And then what's 1 over sine? Cosecant. And what's cosine over sine? Cotangent. So if you break it apart into two separate fractions, you can get it also. Okay, you see what Alec did?
Yeah.
And do you see what I did?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care which way you do it. You just got to show that step. Okay? Good? Okay. That's it. That's it. Slides are done. How about 1 through 9 through 18? You said 18. All right. Okay. Help me get that one going.
Cotangent to the third theta over cosecant theta equals
Cosecant theta.
equals 1 minus sine squared theta over sine theta.
Sine theta like that. Who got it? Eddie got it. Oh, you got it? Okay. Alec got it. Skylar got it. 3 people. Everett? Okay. Any one of you 4 want to say what you did?
I don't know how to explain it.
Well, just tell me the first thing you did. You probably see your work, don't you?
Wait, yeah.
What's the first thing you did?
Well, I did like, yeah.
Okay, hang on. Eddie, you're talking now?
Oh, I you said like
Yeah, just tell me.
I went and did change cosecant to sine.
Okay. So you basically said this right here is 1 over sine,
No.
right?
So you did
Yeah.
multiply by
Then you multiply by the reciprocal to put it up
Yeah.
here, right? Okay. So that's what he did, right? So Eddie just says I'll multiply the bottom, the top by sine, and he gets this.
Oh, it's a lot more complicated.
Okay? Well, then Eddie, what'd you do next?
Since cotangent is cosine over sine, the sine cancels with
Okay. Okay, hang on. Now he's going a little fast. He says all this cancels out. He's turning cotangent into what?
cosine over sine.
Yeah, but you better say cotangent cubed over sine cubed. Okay?
Thank you.
And then sine here, right? Okay, now what?
Wait, well, how do we get that? I'm
Did I mess up here?
In the fraction. You're cosine.
Oh, yes, the S, that's big. That is big. Okay, so cosine. Okay, now Eddie, what?
Okay.
Sine cancels with one of the signs.
Okay, sine out with one of the sines. So now you have cosine cube over what?
Sine squared.
Sine squared. And we're still trying to get this mess right there, which was 1 minus sine squared theta over what? Okay. Now what?
Okay, so since there isn't enough sine, it's cotangent squared. And then there's an extra cosine.
And you want that to be cotangent? Or sorry, say again.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you
And
just
then
multiply?
Do you want this to be cosine, sorry?
I guess.
Oh, no?
Were you talking about the other side, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
other side, like
We're
break
talking
it up
about the left side still.
Now what?
one.
It's cotangent squared, and there's an extra cosine, so it's.
Oh, gotcha. You're breaking it up into cosine squared times cosine, right? And then you already have this down here, which there's your what?
Cotangent squared.
There's your cotangent right there. Cotangent squared times
Cosine.
cosine. Is that what we had in the beginning?
No.
What do we have in the beginning?
Get cotangent cube over cosecant.
It's supposed, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to equal cosine.
It's just
I don't think
cosine
this is
times
really good.
cotangent squared. That's what you end up
It
using.
looks like they took the other side
Yeah,
from
they did.
19.
Yeah,
And
this isn't even the right
So the
problem.
left side is from 18, the right side is from 19.
It's supposed to be equals
Really?
cosine
That's
t
what it looks like.
parentheses cosine.
Maybe that's
Equals what? Equals what?
Maybe so, 'cause I don't know what.
Times
Yeah, because I was like, well, here, this is a cube there, I'm like.
Say that again.
Cosine of t in parentheses.
Oh my
Cosecant squared is cosine times cos.
No wonder we're messed up here. So we need to get rid of all this, don't we? And this?
Chloe's illiterate, it's not.
Okay, so, can I ask you this, since that was all copied wrong, is that what we were supposed to prove?
Yes.
Okay, yes?
Yeah, that's that story.
Okay,
What about next
It's
time?
so right, it's like,
So the other side literally takes one step.
That's what you do. When you put this one with
oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, we have it, it's, on the right side, it was cosine times what?
Cosecant squared.
Cosecant squared minus 1, which is really what though?
Cotangent.
Cotangent, which is right there. So we do have it. Okay, so it's there. This is cotangent squared. Okay. Sorry, that got all messed up. But we got it. Eddie got us to the bottom. We figured out the right side was wrong. Now we cleaned it up. Okay?
now it works.
Sorry. Yeah, we can work, but here's the deal.
Can we
It's
put-
gonna get nastier. Okay? So we're gonna go try 2 of them together, 22 and 30. So why don't you start 22, look at it and say, what do I do? Think about it. I'm gonna copy this one correctly.
We get a tattoo that says like something or cry or trying to cry.
Wait, are you gonna give us a calendar today?
No. You still have it on your old calendar?
We have, the assignment for today, and that's all.
That's all you need is today, right?
Well.
You're saying math's done up to the day completely?
What number are we doing?
This is 22.
Wow, this is what 2 years like. You're like halfway there. That's a split.
Okay, that should be enough time to look at it at least. So, more complicated side looks like the left side, I believe. You got some tools over here, anything
Good job.
look familiar? Okay, Noah's talking, so let's just talk a little bit. When you see multiplication, this number times this number, that's a term. It's like saying x times y, xy minus another, could be xy. This is multiplication, this is a term. So it's just a term minus a term. Anything you feel like you could do?
Oh, I like kind of. Sorry, yeah, I think that's what the word is.
Four?
I multiplied. Yeah, that one. Distribute.
Or do you distribute?
Yeah.
Okay, I have never done that way, but let's do it. What's this?
Is there a simpler way than this?
No, yeah, this will still work. I don't care what we do, but
I'm asking because I'm still working this out.
This is what you get, right?
Yep.
This is what?
Secant.
Secant to the fifth, tangent to the first, I guess, right? Okay, so she actually multiplied it out.
You have to multiply the secant.
Yeah.
Six times tangent.
You're still missing.
Secant to the seventh times tangent. Secant to the
Because
fifth.
they're all
Yeah.
multiplied
If
together
you're
anyway, so
distributing
you don't
it
have
That's
to.
just secant x times. That's not parentheses.
But because
Oh,
they're
right. Yeah, that's just one. That's just a
Yeah.
term. So this make this.
Those are not-
There's no plus sign. There's no minus sign.
yeah.
You're thinking. You're
You're
thinking like 5 times x plus 3. You know. Okay.
So that's that.
So you multiplied it out to get that look, but if you guys are looking at any of these, do you see when it comes to factoring, don't we usually take out the
Yeah.
GCF?
Yeah.
What's the GCF in this one?
Secant to 6 and secant to 4.
Secant to the what? Yeah, they kind of share 5 secants, right? What else do they share? Okay, they share a tangent. Times, and if you took it out, what's left?
Secant squared minus.
Secant squared minus, and of course you're taking the whole thing out, guys, so that all that's left is 1. So all I did was took out the GCF, secant to the fifth. Secant to the fifth, tangent to this. Okay. Now, anything look familiar?
You could change that to tangent squared.
Change that as in secant squared minus 1?
Yeah.
Okay. Secant squared minus 1 is really just that, isn't it? And then you got to take it times this, and then take that times this. This is coming out kind of sweet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Secant to the fifth times tangent squared would be secant to the fifth what?
Times tangent.
Times tangent cubed, right? Everett, we never did it that way, did we? that turned out kind of nice, Skylar. You actually ran the secant through, and then we got this look. Factored out the secant to the fifth, tangent x, took out the GCF, and that turned into tangent squared. Well, isn't that what we were trying to prove? Yeah, I believe. Yep, right here. That's what you're trying to prove, right there. Questions? All right, let me go a little higher up. I'm gonna do 32. I don't know if it's similar. Go for it. Try 30. Get started. See what happens.
Why are you laughing at? That's rude.
I'm working on the top, that's really
Okay,
weird.
no. Does it say times?
No, it's minus percent.
Oh, I got you. I see what you did. This and this and this and this. Minus one.
Then it'd be minus, it should be -1. I don't know how to put secant. I got that.
Which one are we doing? The secant.
Secant minus the 9 is just 1.
Yes, it is.
Crosses out, it's just plus toss second, it's just
See, the ones are gone, and all you have left is this. This over. Spit it out. And now let me just tell you. Does
Does this equal anything? This bottom thing? Like, can I change this?
1 minus tangent squared, yes, it is. Okay, all right, so one person, and only one person, read it to me. 30,
You scared everyone.
say again.
Cosine times cotangent over 1 minus sine. Minus 1 equals cosecant.
Cosecant? Okay. Good. Okay. More difficult side is which side? Left side. Okay. All right. Looking on the left. Looking on the left, what do they want you to do? What do they want you to do on the left side?
Factor.
Factors, add, subtract, or
Get the denominator.
get the denominator to be a monomial. Okay. That's. We could do that right away. I feel like, to me, I'm looking at a subtraction problem, like fraction minus fraction. I feel like you guys should do this. Get your common denominator. What is it?
Minus sign.
1 minus sine. Okay. So I think you should do something like this. Just get started. Like that. Nothing to do on this one. But over there, you got to do what? Multiply both by 1 minus sine. Okay, so you're going to end up with 1 times everything is 1 minus sine and 1 minus sine. Okay. Okay, so you got your common denominators. You're going to add or subtract a fraction. You see those bottom denominators? 1 minus sine, 1 minus sine. Can we make that a monomial right now? How? How do you make 1 minus sine a monomial? 1 plus sine. Okay, so if you go like this, 1 plus sine, and of course 1 plus sine, you will get your monomial on the bottom. But of course you got to do it here, don't you? And you got to do it here. Okay. When you do it on the bottom, 1 plus sine, 1 minus sine, when you FOIL that out, it just becomes what?
1 minus sine squared.
1 minus sine squared, right. And I do know you guys know 1 minus sine squared is cosine squared, but I'm just gonna write that out just so you see it. Okay, be careful on the top now. Be careful. It says take 1 plus sine and multiply it by this. Now, is this a binomial or is this a monomial? Binomials have a plus or a minus in the middle. That's a monomial. It's just one term. Take this one term, distribute it through. What's this? Cosine cotangent times 1?
Wouldn't it be easier to multiply out the cosine and cotangent? Never mind, I didn't.
I don't think so, but if you want to do that,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I did
I think it might get messy.
Yeah.
Cosine
It does.
cotangent times 1 is cosine cotangent. There's
I just mixed it around. I accidentally multiplied it times tangent.
not,
That's
okay.
what I did.
And then the next one would be cosine cotangent times what? Sine. That'd be positive. And I'm going to go right in order. I'm just going to say sine of x, cosine of x, cotangent of x. But you know what I want to do with cotangent? Since I have sines and cosines, I'm going to turn it into what? I'm going to change it right now. I'm going to change it to cosine of x over sine of x. Okay? That's on top. And then, of course, we've got this one coming. This one's going to be what? 1 times 1 is 1. That's plus sine of x That's minus sine of x, which we know will cancel. And that's minus sine of x, right?
Sine squared x.
Sine squared of x. Thank you for saving me. Okay. What about the sines? They're out. This is the tricky part. Be careful. This is why students get it wrong. This says minus whatever in your answer. So that minus sign gets run through. That becomes what? Doesn't that become minus 1? Doesn't that make this? Doesn't that make this plus sine squared? Okay. And you know what, guys? Now that I've already ran the negative through, this is now a plus because I took care of it. So the numerator is all up there. What do you notice about this little mess?
Just cancel out.
Sines are going to cancel, aren't they? So sine is out with sine. What's cosine times cosine?
Cosine squared.
Cosine squared. That's what this is, right? Look close. You got some good things up there in the top.
You can change this cosine cubed.
Cosine cubed.
Couldn't you?
No, so it's adding.
Oh, it's adding. Never mind. I read it wrong.
Well, oh, no, I don't see that. Okay.
I read it wrong.
Can you just look at that?
Yeah.
Cosine squared plus sine squared?
Equals 1.
Yeah, what is cosine squared plus sine squared?
1.
Isn't that just 1? And then minus 1? The whole thing what?
Cancel.
The whole thing canceled out, and you got that. Over that and that, but that makes what? Right? And I don't remember what this is supposed to equal, so let's get that part right.
CSC.
Say again?
Cosecant.
Just, that's it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now look what you have. You have a monomial. I know it looks like two terms. It's not. It's just a monomial. It's multiplication over a monomial. Anything cancel.
It's just
Cosine.
cosine.
That's cosine times cosine on the bottom and a cosine on the top. Isn't this cosine just go away with one of those cosines?
Yeah.
So now what's left on the bottom is cosine of x. So now you have this. Cotangent, which is cosine over sine. Divided by what? Cosine. Do your division. Division is multiplying by the reciprocal, right? So it's this times the reciprocal this, which equals what?
1 over sine.
1 over sine, which is? Cosecant of x, which equals cosecant of x. I told you, they're gonna get nasty. Level-wise, if you had to go 1 through 10, would you consider 1 being really super easy and 10 being extremely hard? Where would you throw that one? That's a 10, says Lauren. I'd agree with Lauren. It's either an 8, 9, or a 10. It's pretty difficult. A lot of the ones you're going to do today are hitting the 7, 8, 9, 10 mark. Okay? The ones on the test, no, I'm not going to put that level on, but I will put an average level 4, 5, 6 on it. If you get something like that, that might be what?
Extra credit.
That could be a bonus. Who knows? Okay?
We're automatic.
The question becomes, did you follow it?
36.
20. Yeah.
All right.
0.
Go to work. You got 20 minutes or almost 20.
Okay.
We're just going to circle and help you.
Yeah, I got it. Was 9 through 18 odd? Or was it all-
yes.
It's all of them.
And you don't wanna sit down.
That's good. I know what you're saying.
How do you subtract that from this? Minus cosine.
That's a good idea. Okay. 16.
So 2-term boundary, 1 term, and then it's just division.
That's a good thought. That would be, just to get a common denominator, it's just
How's
whatever
that?
these two are, just cross match.
I'm just trying to.
Yeah, what is that?
Day one.
Why don't, day 1? I don't want day 1. I'm gonna take everything tomorrow.
Alright.
Yeah, 5.
5-1 day 1? What about 5-1 day 1, day 2, when it was 2 last week? Well, day 2's not done.
We have done someday.
I don't know how to do this.
When we have
Alright.
a ball.
Harry, if you just want to like half the points, go ahead and. I mean, it's up to you.
What if I had a day two?
You get more points, you get a few more points.
I just want it's because I'll lose my points.
So,
you did.
now we have one. You have 5 more, so you can just
It's
take
gonna
this.
be
Yes. Not, okay, so one of these is cancel, not this.
Oh, cause it's not.
which is C.
I
know. I didn't think that looked hard, so I did 22 and I jumped over 30, so 30 looked hard. Somebody said,
Yes.
32. But get it, we'll get it.
So.
Tell me what this one.
What am I doing?
Is that the one with the 2?
So here's me thinking, what did you do with your tangent?
I don't know what to do there.
Okay, what is
Oh,
tangent?
it's sine over cosine.
Okay, so what is sine
Sine
times sine?
squared.
Yep, sine squared over cosine plus cosine. Right? Now, I would just get a common denominator, just add the two and see if you get whatever secant is. So yeah, you're trying to get some value.
We're going to sine x cosine x over
Oh
sine.
yeah, that does
Okay,
equal
so this is
Sine
Yeah,
x
that's
cosine
right.
y is
one
Yeah.
over.
I think it's.
Oh, I see what you're doing. You're doing what?
So.
That's right, right?
You got it.
Let's
Do
rewrite
I
it.
have to rewrite it?
No. What you did is you moved down to here,
Mhm.
and you moved down to here, here I guess, and then you said secant is just one over cosine, so you just brought that instead. Yeah. The other option is just say 1 over cosine.
Let's think about
secant.
in this
Just
one.
arrow down.
For this one, I changed this whatever thing.
Okay, yeah, whatever.
I don't like it.
Change it to whatever.
And then just, I take the 2 out, right?
I don't know. I see. Is this,
Yeah,
is
and
this the
then it'll
problem?
be secant, yeah.
Okay. Oh, I know the problem. No, you can't factor out a 2 because 2 doesn't go in the line.
What would
Just
you
leave it. Just leave it. Okay, now, here's the deal. So you
Yeah, so you rewrote.
you see cosine squares, you see sine squares, right? Okay, you know it's got to do something with the Pythagorean. I like the fact that you have a cosine here and a cosine here, right? So don't do anything with your cosine.
Just goes.
Let's just get rid of sine. You should know what sine squared equals. Sine squared is equivalent to sine.
By itself?
Just, yeah, replace sine squared
So am
with
I, wait, I thought I
sine
know.
for sine.
Unfortunately, in this
1
thing,
minus
part of the
cosine.
problem is that
So you take this, rewrite this, cosine squared minus,
it's a weird.
minus sine. Yeah, be careful because it's minus all of this, put it in parentheses. We'll start working this
So,
out.
the best way for us to do that is to rewrite
Distribute the names, right, just like you would.
So,
Oh, after this
now we.
Well, you know, this was,
one, oh yeah.
if this was x minus 7, you'd put
To do
negative
that,
x.
we need to rewrite this cosine.
And now you can use your parentheses because you already took.
Yeah, because we can.
Distribution part of it.
Cosine,
Oh,
cosine,
you know what I'm saying?
we need that denominator.
Oh, okay.
You already took
yeah, I
care of the
see.
addition. The parentheses aren't needed.
Yeah.
Now you have cosine squared plus
So
cosine
that makes
squared.
sense, but.
Yeah.
What's one cosine
So,
squared
in
plus
the
one
reason we
cosine
did that
squared?
is because we want to add these two things together. This cosine x and sine x. So because we're adding
see this cosine squared and this cosine squared. Those are like
Oh, two cosine squared.
It's like
Minus
saying
one.
1x plus 1x makes 2x. You got it.
Okay.
2 cosine. Equals blah blah blah. You got it, right?
Yeah.
15 is about the same type of problem. Just about the same. Yep.
This is all just the.
This is all.
Okay, no, that's 24. Okay. And you multiply by 1. Yep. Secant. Yep. And you have minus 1. Then you got minus 1. Good. No, that is minus 1. That's sine squared on the bottom. I'm not sure why sine squared is sine.
Yeah, they all have it right up there.
Now, here's the deal. You can read the just minor. Well, monomials can cancel. That's why you can't work. You there you have a binomial. If you could do something to the binomial, you factor out something common, or maybe subtract it. Do you know that that is just one binomial? So, now what do you have? What goes on? Well, hang on. If this is cosine, over 1, you know the common denominator of cosine? Then you're gonna get and 1 minus cosine squared changes 1. So sine squared over cosine divided by sine squared.
Yeah. So that's where I messed up, because I accidentally forgot squared.
Okay. Now sine squared over cosine. Are you okay?
Yeah, because it ends up being tangent squared. Just like
No.
cosine over sine. That's cosine squared. Yeah, cosine squared over sine squared.
Thank you.
Can you see that? That is cosine squared, right? I'm sorry, this is what?
That's one,
Sine squared
yes.
You
over
can figure it out, right?
cosine.
Yes.
Right? Divided by the
Yeah,
common denominator.
this is my first.
Sine squared.
Which I don't know what you think. I don't know.
Fraction divided by fraction is the same as multiply.
Multiply by the
So you do that. This is over 1, so you do 1 over.
Yeah.
Which means those cancel 1 over. And 1 over cosine is.
Like that's so good. That was that.
And that is what
Are you doing good?
you were on the right track. And then right here,
Yeah.
it just happens that you forgot to square.
You write down.
Yeah,
And then I think everything's happened here,
yeah.
and you just got lost.
Mhm.
But do you see what happened?
Yeah.
Alright.
I just got
That
really
is
lost
right.
while I was down here.
Start.
I was just
Yeah.
gonna restart my
What is negative 1 sine squared? Another negative 1 sine squared?
Press at the top on against it.
I like adding them together.
Yeah. Like up here I said, what's cosine squared plus cosine squared? These are 2 cosine.
Yeah.
What's negative 1 sine squared and negative 1 sine squared?
Start right here. Multiply through top and bottom by cosine.
Wait, is tangent?
Multiply by cosine over cosine.
Tangent.
And isn't that what you have? Yep, you got it.
Sine over cosine. Does that not matter?
Like that.
There's no problem.
So why would that help?
So if you just like 120
So they get rid of that.
squared
Yep.
up in there.
Yeah.
1 minus cosine
We have
squared.
21. We're not doing 21 by the way. We're only doing evens. Just evens. Yeah, I was gonna say, I haven't even seen one like that. But yeah, you're right, that is the square root of sine of that. But, don't do it. Okay.
Now I need to help me with the
31, 6. Okay. So that's kind of funny when you put negative x's inside. So that must mean odd number. And then I changed.
So what is?
So this would subtract
Change that
the
to-
amount.
Yeah, just change it. We'll just, cosecant would just be what?
That.
Yeah.
Over
Over.
this, wait, no. Or is there supposed to be a negative?
So secant of negative x, which is what you have, is the same as your secant.
Okay.
There you go.
I would change them to like right, so it's negative 1, wait, no, that's, yeah, it's negative 1/7.
Divided by.
1/cosine
Yeah.
equals, do I change that?
I would, I just take the numerator.
So I should change this back
multiply by
to
the reciprocal.
middle.
So
Now since I got there.
You times my cosine.
Oh,
this
that's right.
cancels
So it's just
one
sine
Yep,
squared
we
times
always
cosine.
out.
Cancel
So
the
it's
sine
just
squares.
negative cosine.
Can work, but
And this equals cotangent, which is,
what you wanted.
that was so easy. So it's negative cosine. This was easy.
And then at the end. Did you make it through?
And I finished this.
Oh, yeah, you probably have 5 minutes.
No, I already gave you 5.
Oh.